On today's episode of Watch J Ergo, it's going to be a busy slash productive day, I hope. What is going on, guys? I'm Watch J Ergo, and today we're hopping in the Rampage to go get the engine for the Audi R8. But that's not really what we're doing. That's honestly just an errand at this point. We're gonna go get the Veloster, put it in Josh's awesome air-conditioned garage, swap that engine. All right, lift it up. And now for the second engine of the day, here is the Veloster's brand new 1.6 GDI. Not brand new, it's a used engine. And it came from J&J Auto Parts. And those guys make it so easy for me to get new engines. They bring a semi, he pulls it right up to the house, has a lift gate, unloads it, and put it right at the garage. I wasn't even home. He just dropped it off and there was the engine. You don't have to return a core. J&J makes this so easy. And if you guys need engines or parts, make sure you hit them up. They'll make your life easy. If you need LS swaps, they have tons of LS parts and LSs laying around. Just whatever you need. If they don't have it, they'll get a hold of it. They've done amazing things for me. They got all the parts for the SVX. That's coming up next. Now, let's get this down the street. We have a terrible idea to move it, and it involves this. Let me just grab it right in the center. Get the wheels straightened out. Okay, boosted board. No wheel spin. Oh! This is pure gold! Engine transportation system! Huge shout out to Josh again for letting us use his air-conditioned garage. Steer! Steer! Full power! It's got it all in it! Oh yeah!
Boosted board tow truck for the
Oh, almost died. Boosted board.
That was pretty epic, though.
I need a Gen 2, but this one's a champion.
That was pretty epic, though.
So it moves everything.
Yes. Dude, we got to the point where the seatbelt indicator came on. It's like, oh, you're going too fast without your seatbelt on. So
That's awesome. It is. How fast did we go?
Got up to
13 or so?
You got up to 15 miles an hour.
15? That's almost the top speed of the boosted board. Let's get this stuff inside. Okay, it's on, it's in neutral. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the battery.
I'm trying to get it lined up again.
All right, that's hilarious. All right, all that's left is we're gonna get the battery out, start pulling the intake. I mean, you guys know the drill. We're gonna get it knocked out. All we gotta do is jump right in.
Yep. And at some point we will disassemble the engine and see what damage was done.
We're gonna disassemble it for you guys because you wanna see what the Orbeez did. I honestly don't care because it goes straight to the recycler and we get paid for the old engine.
You know you wanna see it.
But if you guys wanna see inside the engine.
So allow me to help.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Kind sir. It's an engine. All we have to do is plug in a couple connectors and this thing's done. Hyundai, I really like what you've done with the place. These hoses haven't even been cut?
I was just about to point that out.
What on earth?
That is wonderful.
This is an easy one, guys. Okay, whenever you guys are ready. Dude, it's a lot easier with 3 people, isn't it?
We're clear? Clear.
So we just got the high pressure fuel pump off the top of the engine and it was full of Orbeez inside here. Of course, the high pressure pump is cam driven and it's just filled with like polymer sludge that we have created inside this engine. And if you guys could see down in here, I'll try to get you inside the engine a little bit. Look at that.
Try and get a light in there.
Oh, it's good, it's nasty. You can see it's nasty. It's full of like grit and polymer. And yeah, we're making good progress though. I mean, it's nice, it's soft, right? So it's gotta be the Orbeez. We've about got the harness off, we got the battery out, air intake's out, the trans access panel is out. Yep. We're ready to start unbolting the transmission bolts, is that?
Yep.
And then pulling this thing out. Oh, we need to drain down the coolant still.
Yeah, detail.
I think everything's disconnected already. We've got like an hour in this thing. And it is game time. We went ahead and skipped unhooking all the electronics. It's whatever. And we've got all of our coolant hoses off. All the electronics are off. Relatively simple. And we are ready to get this engine out. Only 2 bolts are still holding it in.
It's been literally the easiest engine
The easiest engine change ever.
ever.
Yeah.
Except those header bolts.
Header bolts could have all been done from the top a lot easier.
We're good. If you want to lift a bit.
Here comes a tiny little lift.
Good.
Okay, it's free of the motor mount. We're good.
Should just, so when we, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. Oh, okay, we're good. That AC compressor's hanging.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay. Just chilling.
Is that thunder? Okay, I might have to go put the windows up on the fan.
Veloster story.
Oh, that was fun.
There's the old engine. Here's the new engine. We've got them out. But first, you guys need to take a look at how these dual clutches go together. It's really cool. It's a spline drive. There's no bolts. You don't have to bolt together a flywheel and a clutch or anything like that. It's just a bunch of splines that go into the flywheel and it just sits together and works. It's really cool. So I'm gonna take you inside the transmission right now. Okay, here's the engine bay. And you can see this is the spline drive that goes into the flywheel. Super cool. Very simple, easy to work on. Honestly, impressive. Also, we did find my 10mm that dropped in here a month ago. All right, ready? Oh, okay. Wow. Hey, we weren't recording, but just imagine that it went in like 1,000 times easier than it came out. It just dropped right into position. We're almost there.
Let's just redo it.
Yeah, pull it back out. Please no.
It'll go out easier.
Please no.
Okay, hold on. Don't make any movements yet.
Not touching it.
Okay.
I mean, technically he is touching it.
That is true. I see him right now.
He's lying to you, Gabe.
And it is in. Gabe's tightening up the transmission bolts in there. I'm tightening up this motor mount right here. And in a couple seconds, we'll dump all the tension off the engine here. Make sure I got this nice and lined up. Little nub to line up in there. Gabe?
Yes, sir.
Thoughts?
Well, I think we played a good game.
We went out there, we played hard, we give it our all.
Played hard.
We scored more balls than the other team.
Yes, we scored it harder than the other guys. The biggest issue we ran across here was lining up the transmission.
Oh, it was terrible.
And the engine.
And you'd think with how awesome the design was, it was just going to be the easiest job. It was not.
It's because John Ross spoke too soon and said this was so easy.
So you're saying he jinxed us?
Yep, pretty much. Finishing touches here. Everybody rolled out for a little bit, but I'm just knocking out the exhaust manifold bolts. I need to check the torque spec on the fuel high pressure pump right there. I do think it's all good, but I'm going to verify that. I'm ready to put the intake in, battery in, plug in a few electrical connectors, and this thing is wrapped. If you're engine swapping a Hyundai Veloster, it's relatively simple. We did this entire thing with no power tools. I know you saw a drill float around for a second. I don't think we used that for anything, and we didn't have an impact bit on it or anything, so we couldn't use any sockets, and we didn't want to make the trek back over to my house to get it. So we did this whole thing with just basic hand tools. It's like a 10, 12, 14, maybe a 15, 16, 17. I'd say have a full set of metric sockets. We used a 3/4 or 13/16 to turn the crank, and that is it. A couple jacks and an engine hoist. This was really easy to work on. Very simple swap. Huge shout out to Hyundai for making this so easy to work on. You're basically just, to get it off the car, you disconnect this coolant line, the heater hoses, the front coolant line. We pulled the 412s that hold the AC compressor, flipped it forward and zip tied it up to its own AC lines actually, and it came out. It is that easy. I mean, it's easy in, easy out. You could do this in a day, no problem. And you could probably do it in just hours if you were actually pushing. The only hang up we actually encountered is there's a pilot bearing that runs into the DCT, and you have to align a shaft with the pilot bearing. That's tricky. It'll take you a little bit of time maneuvering with jacks and your engine hoist. And I mean, we spent a good amount of time on that, probably 2 hours, I would say, and we just didn't record any of it because we were bored and we weren't pushing really fast, but yeah, we got it done. Just took a little bit of time, and that's the most difficult part of the whole swap. So back to work. I've got my deep 12 that you need for the exhaust manifold, and it's really hard to access those bolts. I have to climb back into the engine bay and finish tightening down those bolts, and then we'll put the exhaust heat shield back on, run the O2 sensor through that, plug it all in, and that's basically it. I gotta plug in a few connectors in the front. Good to go. If there was any part of this engine swap that's gonna wear you out, it's the exhaust manifold. The intake can stay on, you don't have to mess with it at all, super easy. The exhaust manifold though, not fun. Those bolts that hold the cat back to the rest of the pipe are so rusted out that you couldn't take those off if you had to. You'd have to cut them. First startup, we just oil filled, and Josh has never been in this, so he was a little surprised by the interior.
Need a respirator.
It's actually hard to breathe in there. The air gets thicker when you get in this car. All right, first try, here we go. Oh, maybe cycle it a couple times. There's a lot of stuff happening under the
servo's
deck.
clicking.
Yeah.
Key off and back on.
Cool. Go for it.
Yeah, give her the beans.
Yep. That is not good.
I think the battery's dead.
Oh, I believe that we left it on forever. Okay. Jumper cables?
Behind you.
All right. Try again. Nothing. Is it in gear? Well, we think the starter's toast. It's probably because we cranked it for so long with the Orbeez that it happens. No big deal. Gabe's cleaning it right now. He ran outside to spray it off real fast, and then we're gonna bench test it. I think it's weak, honestly. We've already bench tested it and it ran, but it sounds weak. So we were trying to clean any like buildup out of it and everything like that. We'll see what happens here.
All right, so because we're trying to test the starter only, we're going to grab here.
Yep.
And make sure that we do not ground out on
This is the starter side of the solenoid, and
whoa. I think it's bad.
Okay, redo.
Now, hold on.
Oh, fell off?
Yeah, it fell off.
We did check, there's one more of these in town. We called O'Reilly's, doesn't have it, AutoZone doesn't have it. How much brake cleaner did you put in this guy?
Nothing.
But I think the motor's weak.
I agree.
So if this doesn't work, we'll just go grab another one and swap it out, good to go. Plus, new owner gets a new starter.
Yeah!
Bonus. Now for the first start. We're gonna cycle it a few times again. We dump the fuel pressure. Don't you hate how the gauges fade on and make you think that the battery's dead?
Yep.
And they fade out too.
Goes here.
All right, we're gonna try. What a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at all that smoke.
That's Orbeez smoke.
Oh, it is the Orbeez smoke. We had a bunch of Orbeez in the exhaust we cleaned out. That's amazing. It looks like the exhaust is cleaning up. That didn't take too long.
Nope.
It smells like the Orbeez too.
Oh yeah.
Delicious. It's gonna take a little while to get all the Orbeez smoke out of the cat and the exhaust, I think. Kind of unfortunate. It's so much cooler with the vape. It vapes!
It vapes!
We didn't know it was a Subaru.
Oh. That was awesome.
All right, I'd say that was a successful swapito.
I was like, man, my glasses get so foggy.
Well, we went ahead and turned on the fog machine. Wait a second there. Okay. Ready with the lid.
And this is the way to put it hood on.
With all these people?
Yeah.
Because it makes
Hold the hood. And
there you go. You can get that. It's alive! It's time to lower the Veloster. We just got all the shields back on underneath. Let's see, I think we're off the jack stands. There we go. Out they come. Ready?
You're clear.
Clear, clear. Here. Okay. All right, we are headed out for the first drive, but we already know it runs, so thank you guys so much for watching, and please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. It still runs. Well, now we just have to clean this thing. Oh, check this out, I think,
Oh my goodness.
it's a backup camera, you have to hold it.
Right.
But we should, like, the backup camera needs, like,
aftermarket. It is, actually.
it needs, like, glued into the mirror. Okay, you should be able to back up easily with that.
Alright.
You just have to, if you're in reverse, you just gotta pop your sun visor down. Oh, yeah. Catalytic converter is just having a tough go at life. Look at this. Take it for a spin. Oh, it's beautiful. All right, it needs driven.
Alright, here we go.
Look at it. So funny, dude.
Look at this.
Oh gosh, I love it. You can just see a trail of smoke going down, and it comes out of the center, and it
I
looks
literally
really
had
cool.
to slow down because I couldn't see in front of me. With how much smoke he had, it was awesome.
All right, let's go drive it around until it's all good to go again.
Sounds good. I need food.
All right, let's go.
Did you hear what happened to my knife?
What happened?
I wore these shorts the night before we left for Washington. Had my knife in my pocket. Wore them again in the morning because you only wore them for like an hour or so that evening.
Sure.
Left my knife in the pocket. Go up to security.
Oh.
So rather than getting a $13,000 fine, I just threw it in the trash.
You have to. The only other thing you can do is were you in Wichita? If you walk right back out of the security line and right over here, there's a shipping office, and you can take your knife and your screwdriver, because I always fly with my screwdrivers and pliers, right? And they'll confiscate those. But you can go in there and pay $5 and ship it back to your house, basically. So it's worth saving your knife, and it's really worth saving Klein screwdrivers and knife X tool.
Yeah.
I was like, no way I'm throwing these away.
I mean, luckily my knife was like $14 on sale at Cabela's.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world.